Are you active duty, a veteran, or PCSing to the Central Texas area? Maybe that's Fort Hood, Temple, Belton, and any of the surrounding areas, and you're wondering how your VA home loan benefits actually work. Can you use them more than once? What about closing costs or down payment?
Yeah, VA loans are one of the most powerful benefits to service members and veterans. There's a lot of misinformation out there, so today we'll break down some of the benefits, who can use the VA loans, and set some of the expectations when you're looking to buy here in Central Texas.
Hi, I'm Andrea Dudick, a local real estate expert and broker here in Central Texas. I'm here with Jacob Studdard, your VA home lending expert, also handles all other types of home loans, but that's really his specialty. And today we will be really breaking down the VA home loan benefits so that you can leave here feeling really confident about the entirety of the process.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, Jacob, so who qualifies for a VA loan?
Yeah, so active duty service members, reservists, National Guardsmen, certain circumstances, spouses can qualify. If you're PCSing, if you're post-service relocating, there's many circumstances on how people can qualify, but the golden ticket is to make sure you have your certificate of eligibility.
And I've seen you help people with that. How do they go about knowing what that looks like or how to get that?
Yeah, so you can get your certificate of eligibility. You can request it through the VA loan guarantee system, or you can reach out to myself and I can walk you through the necessary steps on how to get that done.
Okay, well,
Super simple.
okay. So if someone received PCS orders to come here, how soon can they start the process with you?
So as soon as you have your orders, you can start the process. The only thing that the VA requires is that you move in within 60 days of closing. Now, there are exceptions to that rule, and we can get into the details over a phone call, but as soon as you get those orders, you're ready to get the ball rolling.
Okay, cool. So really, first step is going to be to contact Jacob, get all of that in order, and then at that point, as your realtor, we can have a very detailed conversation on where you're looking to be, what your wants, must-haves, and really what's important for your circumstances and lifestyle. We can have that conversation, set you up to start looking at houses. You don't need to be here for us to do all of this. We are so familiar, especially with Fort Hood being where it is. Not only is Texas so friendly and catering to its veterans, but we're so familiar with the process. We do a lot of helping people when they're not here and purchasing a home.
Exactly. We've done plenty of closings where the veterans or the service members are still overseas or at a different state. You can do remote closings. There's all types of creative ways to get the job done without being actually here in person. It's one of the most flexible benefits of using the VA.
For sure. And I know it can seem really stressful, but once he gets, you going on the lending side, I can do virtual showings. A lot of times people will come down if they can for maybe a week just to familiarize themselves with the area, see where they like best, maybe look at a few houses. But, I have done a lot of virtual showing and stuff like that. So anything is possible.
Yep, we'll walk you through everything. So you're not going to be going through any of the process by yourself. We'll be with you every step of the way.
Yep. So what are some of the biggest myths and misconceptions you've seen about the VA home loan?
Yeah, so first off, you don't need to be a first-time home buyer. You can use your VA loan more than once, and you can even have your VA loan, multiple VA loans at the same time, so long you can qualify. 0% down payment is an option. You don't have to do it, but it is one of the main benefits of using your VA loan. There is no mortgage insurance on VA loans. So no matter what your down payment percentage is, you're not going to have any mortgage insurance. The VA funding fee, you can roll that into the loan amount. The VA funding fee, you can be exempt if you have a service-connected disability rating. So there's some perks to that as well.
Yeah, I hear all the time people say, well, I've already used my VA home loan. I can't use it again. Or I've even had people call and they drop in there that they're actively working at Fort Hood and are talking about a conventional loan. And I've had to pause and say, why conventional? And they said, well, I'm reading to use my VA home loan. So, yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to wait to use your VA loan. If you've bought and sold before, you still can use your VA loan so long your entitlement allows. Even if you have your previous home at your previous duty station, you can still have or purchase another home here at Fort Hood using your VA benefits once again. So you can have both of those loans open at the same time, so long you can qualify and so long you have enough remaining entitlement to make that purchase.
Awesome. So Jacob, what do you think makes the VA home loan so powerful?
Yeah, so number one is the 0% down payment option. So for most people, that opens a lot of opportunities to be able to afford the home. Secondly, there is no mortgage insurance on the VA loan, so that extends your buying power, being that you're not going to have to pay that money as a part of your mortgage payment. Competitive interest rates is another big advantage of VA loans. Also, seller credits. You can have seller credits cover your closing costs. You can have seller credits pay down some of your debt items, and you can have seller credits even buy down your rate permanently, which is very powerful as well. And then the last one, there's multiple more, but another benefit is on the refinance side, then you can roll in, it is an option, you can roll in all of your closing costs into the loan.
Cool. Jacob and I recently had a deal together. We had an active duty service member, and they were pretty tight on money, and we were able, because the market is what it is, we're in such a buyer's market, we were able to ask for max allowable concessions. The seller was really ready to offload their home. We got a great deal on the home. They were able to get all their closing costs covered, no down payment, buy down their rate, and they even had extra money that they could use. And I think he paid a few $1,000s off on that Home Depot credit card.
That's exactly right.
So that was really
pretty
cool.
Powerful. You can't do that with any other loan types. So as far as we can stretch to seller concessions at your benefit, we're going to do it.
Yeah, more buying power for you.
That's right.
Yeah, how the process actually works getting started.
Yeah, so step one is to get pre-approved. So work on getting your pre-approval. During that time, we can also simultaneously work on getting your certificate of eligibility through the VA. I can help on that request. Also, it is highly advised that you partner with a very VA-friendly and experienced agent like Andrea here. That's going to be very important throughout your process. Once you get those parts in place and once you're pre-approved, then you can start making offers and going through the home buying process.
Yes, and of course, I do get calls a lot of times before someone's connected with a lender, and that's okay too. We can discuss what your wants are and what your must-haves and your situation is, and I can connect you with local reputable lenders. Then at that point, Jacob will have you fill out an application and go through that process. And then really, once you are pre-approved, that's really going to tell us what your buying power looks like. You don't want to go looking at a $300,000 home and then find out that you only qualify for a $220,000 home, or alternatively think that you only qualify for a $220,000 home, but you can afford a $300,000 home. So once we know that, we can get you started on looking at homes, get you under contract, and then really go through the entirety of the process in terms of getting you clear to close on your financing, appraisals, home warranties, and that entire process. And actually, while we're talking about appraisals, I think just touching back on the misconceptions briefly, I've had people ask, even though I have my VA home loan benefits, should I do a conventional loan because I have more money to put down? Is there a certain circumstance where using a conventional loan or another loan type is better than using a VA home loan?
Yeah, so I'll touch on appraisals first. They're hardly different than any other loan type appraisal. The main difference on the VA appraisal requirements is that the home is safe, sanitary, and habitable. Those are the main things that appraisers will go to look at, in addition to the appraised value, of course, but the main difference that they're going to look at when appraising and evaluating the house. Now, when it makes more sense to use a conventional loan over the VA loan, there are certain circumstances if the numbers work, but in most cases, it doesn't make sense unless the property itself won't qualify for the VA loan.
There are a lot of agents or sellers that will say, sure, I'll be willing to take a VA home loan. Well, as an experienced agent, if I know that you're using your VA home loan benefits and you say, Andrea, I really like this house. And I mean, a lot of times I can just look at the pictures or information on the home and see that it is not going to be in a condition that will pass a VA home inspection, VA appraisal. That's going to save us a lot of legwork on the front end. And in that circumstance, if you have the money and you say, hey, you know what? I know it may cost me a little bit more. I may have to put more money down. that payment might look a little bit different, but I really want that home.
Yeah.
Maybe in that circumstance, using a conventional loan might be better for you.
Absolutely.
We'll leave you with just a few tips in the Central Texas market. We are in an incredibly competitive market as of today. Of course, things are always changing, but they've been pretty competitive for a while now. And we're in a buyer's market. There's probably a lot of people are scared with interest rates, but there are so many ways to get lowered interest rates, whether that's buying them down, having the seller cover some of those. Builders are paying a ton to buy down rates. But this is really a buyer's market. So the tip from me is if you can buy a home right now, do it, because there's a lot of buying power for.
And there's a lot of opportunities for buyers to get those seller concessions. In other markets, you don't get that opportunity. So in this market, you can have the opportunity to get your closing costs covered and also use a portion of those seller credits to buy your rate down to alleviate some of the rate concerns that are out there.
So those seller concessions, and then builders are very VA friendly. They often offer a lot of incentives specifically to VA buyers, whether that's certain packages we can get for you. Maybe they're offering appliance packages, or a lot of times they'll do lesser money for earnest money or security deposit up front. A lot of times they might do a certain amount for non-VA buyers, but when they hear that you're using your VA benefits, they extend that and give you a very low one. And so because Texas is so VA friendly, a lot of benefits there.
Absolutely. And especially here in Central Texas, being Fort Hood is such a large installation, the area is so used to and it's well versed in accepting of VA loans. So all of our VA buyers out there, they're not any less competitive than any other loan types, especially here, which is fantastic.
Yeah, and then the final tip is probably going to be timing is everything. So when you get those PCS orders, contact us immediately so that we can help time your orders with your closing.
That's right. Yeah, everything is about timing. So long as we get everything in order, we'll be able to backwards plan of when you arrive from your PCS, when you can close. All those things we'll be able to iron out.
Okay, and then just to finalize that, can someone purchase before they are stationed?
Yes, absolutely. So you don't have to currently be at that duty station in person to be able to purchase. So you can purchase in advance in preparation for your arrival. Absolutely.
VA home loans are an incredible benefit. Using them strategically can really help you build long-term wealth and not just buy a home. So whether you're PCSing to the area or settling down post-service, we'd love to help you make the most of your VA benefits.
Absolutely. Reach out anytime with your VA loan questions. We'll be here to help you work towards your pre-approval, and we'll walk you through the entire process.
I'll leave Jacob's information in the comments below, along with my free relocation guide. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell notification so that you can stay up to date on all local insights and real estate things happening here in Central Texas. You can also leave your VA questions below in the comments so we know what to answer next. Till next time.